Hello everyone, welcome to AdiTrade. Today we're going to be seeing the Nifty and Banknifty levels for Monday. This week was a good week, but it was quite choppy. As Thursday we had a pretty big gap down. Again on Friday we had a gap up, and the market sustained on the upside. So let's just see a few levels that might work for 23rd Monday. See, this is the weekly chart of Bank Nifty that I've opened just to see the overall perspective. See, this black trend line, right? The Bank Nifty has taken support from this, considering this COVID low when the COVID news came and the fall came. From that, when I draw this trend line, we have taken, in the most recent times, we have taken support twice over here. On this on this week, it did look like we're going to break this down, but again this week we had some recovery. If I just make this chart a little bigger, so twice we have taken support here in the most recent time. So going forward, if this black trend line, if we on weekly time frame, if we start trading below this, right, we cannot rule out Bank Nifty even dipping until probably this level of 29,000. It might not happen in a day as we are checking this on a weekly time frame, but this is a very good trend line that we can keep a track of. So for next week, the trend line, the important levels will come around 33,900 or so. So if we start trading below that, we could slip further. Obviously the first support will be here at about 32,000, then the next support will come somewhere closer to this level. So this one black trend line is something that we need to keep a track of. Now I'm just shifting to a daily chart. See, this type of move, right, where you gap down one day and the next day immediately the gap fills, this type of move, it's kind of difficult for the positional traders. Only the intraday traders could have made money in this type of moves. It's pretty choppy. On a Thursday, on the expiry day, we gapped down about 700 points. So just imagine the loss the put sellers would have taken on this day. But still, a lot of people, like, there were a lot of support at 33,300 on the expiry day, which we were continuously sharing in our Cosmofeed group, that we didn't expect the market to close below 33,300 on, that is on Thursday. And Friday we had a nice up move. Now coming to our intraday levels for Monday. See, these are the levels that I have for Bank Nifty. See, before we see the intraday levels, whether we're going to get a gap up or a gap down, we'll just check the global markets. See, a lot of the US market was pretty down on Friday, the overnight, but it kind of recovered, right? In the end of the day, we had a nice recovery in the US market. Let me just open the Dow Jones chart. So this was the move in Dow Jones on Friday, where it was showing almost 600, 500 plus down, and suddenly there was a sharp recovery. And even SGX Nifty at one point was showing 250 points or 280 points down, but because of the recovery, as of now it is showing at 83 points gap down. So on Monday we'll have to see if this gap down sustains, or if the US market opens lower on Monday, right, we might end up getting a gap down. If we get a gap down the first level of support is here, that is around this line, where on Friday we had this small intraday move and then up move, right? So the first level of support can come at 33,940. This is where I'll look to buy if we get a nice bullish candle like how we got on Friday. If this breaks, then the next target on the downside is this gap. See, there's a gap that needs to be pending to be filled between 33,650 and 33,370. So if this level breaks, right, or if we open below this, we'll look to short. This will be our target, the gap, and probably even the gap fill. In case we get a gap up, we'll be very careful at this level, because from here is where we got a nice selling, right? So we'll have to be careful at this level. I wouldn't be pretty long after this. There's a good chance we might even reverse from this point. So these are the points that I'll be careful on the long side. In case the US market recovers pretty well and we end up getting a huge gap up, right? If we enter into this gap, if we come until here, that is 34,800. See how many times we have taken support at this gap. One resistance, sorry, 2, 3. So even this time we came up, but we failed to hit this gap. So for any chance, if we come here, right, on Monday with a gap up or something, there's a good chance we might again take resistance on the resistance and come on the downside. If this level breaks, yeah, then probably we'll fill this gap at 35,100, which I don't think will happen on Monday, but it all depends on the chart. There's another pattern that I want to show in Bank Nifty. So this is the 1 hour chart of Bank Nifty. From here is where the downtrend started, right, from 38,700. So when this downtrend started on this day, you can check my previous analysis for April 7th or in this week, right? I had mentioned that we are kind of forming this pattern. We could come up this E and then fall. This is like a proper kind of a flag kind of a formation. So this kind of sideways move was there, and then this wave pattern also was correct. Then we had a nice dip until here. Now over here I'm kind of seeing that same pattern. This is just my observation which I'm sharing. Now if we consider this type of this triangle over here connecting these two highs and these two lows, we could be making this A, B, C. We could come closer to this level D, come up and then get a nice breakdown again. This might not happen Monday itself, but this is what is my view. All this view will fail if we, like this type of view what I'm expecting, right, will fail if we break out of this line that is around strong resistance around 34,800. If we break this, yeah, then this pattern will not work. We might come and fill this gap. See, this is just my observation, right? Like knowing about this wave patterns and all that. So it not necessarily will come get this D and this E bounce. We can even get a breakdown from here, or tomorrow we can even get a breakout from here. But this is something that I'm noticing. That's why I'm sharing. Where even earlier, like this, I had noticed in April 12th, which was shared in my analysis. So these are the levels that I'll be working with in Bank Nifty. What is marked here, we'll look to short on the higher side and we'll look to buy closer to 33,900 and closer to this gap. Now just we'll look at the Nifty levels. Yeah, this is the water news low. We have we made this low, and on the daily chart again, see how many times we have taken support over here. One here consecutively, almost like 3 days, right? Almost 3 days at the same level we have taken support, 15,740. So this is one level that we need to watch out. Next week, if this level breaks, Nifty can come all the way, and probably the next support is only here, 15,540, and if that breaks, we could see much lower levels of even 15,000 if this support breaks. If this support of 15,700 breaks. Now coming to our intraday levels in Nifty, it is pretty similar to Bank Nifty. If we get a gap down and get a good support around this area, it's a good place to buy. If we get a nice bullish candle, and we'll look to book profits at around here. This will be our first target, that is 16,200. If this breaks, then 16,400. And in case we get a gap up and we come until 16,400, if we get a nice divergence or a bearish candle, we'll look to short here. I don't think we will break 16,400 that easily so soon. And if this level breaks on the downside, right, 16,127, we could probably come to this gap boundary or even fill this gap once again. So these are the levels for Nifty and Bank Nifty that I have for 23rd, and hope this helps and hope we can make some money. Thank you for watching.